An age-old question. One that either works to reaffirm comfort in identity or to seed horror in the face of loss and emptiness. A question that we as a species are burdened with asking because only we can truly be poised to ask it. What does it mean to feel? To remember? What exactly does it mean to be human? Typically touted for its achievements in design and set piece, Blade Runner, like so many pieces of science fiction that came before it, asks this very question. It does so by introducing a world that is, at its core, separated into two distinct categories, real and fake. It's found everywhere from the neon lights and advertisements that take the skyline away from the stars to the friendship found in automations. It becomes much more tangible once we're introduced to the main crux of our narrative, the Replicants. The futuristic Earth of 2019 brings with it a history of manufacturing life, bioengineering that creates artificial tissue, artificial organisms. Replicants are the height of human engineering, the ability to create beings in our own image. These replicants, however, do not share our freedom. They are created with predetermined roles and services in mind. Their bodies and their actions are all predicated on a specific task, slaves to a distinct purpose. This creates the core idea of morality, where one can't feel sorry for the replicant because it was simply designed that way. It's not real. They don't possess that special innate feeling that comes with human thought, emotion, experience. Replicants are living without any sort of attachment until there's an anomaly. The Nexus 6 model are the latest in the line of synthetic organisms. Designed with the knowledge that emotion can manifest within such complex creations, they were given a failsafe, 4-year lifespans, only 4 years to fulfill their duties and purpose before they shut down. After a mutiny on an off-planet colony, these replicants have made their way to Earth, where their mere presence is illegal. Their physical attributes prove to be dangerous to the real humans of the planet. The artificial pose a threat to the natural. Therefore, Special Task Force operators known as Blade Runners are designated with the task of hunting down these replicants to destroy them upon contact. The movie makes it a point here to say that this is not called execution, but instead is called retirement. This at the onset introduces the idea that the replicant is not on the same level as their natural creators. For all of their advanced physical prowess and intellect, the replicant is fake and isn't given any indication that they could be real. Sent out for one last job, Officer Deckard is tasked with bringing in the rogue Nexus 6 replicants under the thinking that they are merely tools.
Replicants are like any other machine. They're either a benefit or a hazard. They're a benefit, it's not my problem.
This is first brought into question when he meets Rachel, a special Nexus model that is separated from her peers due to the inclusion of one thing: memory, experience. Rachel is given implanted memories of a life that doesn't belong to her. They're that of the niece of her creator, Eldon Tyrell. In addition, these memories keep her from realizing her artificial nature, invoking emotional responses from experiences that aren't even hers, presenting an illusion where she believes she is human. When Deckard reveals this ruse and pokes holes into the fabric of her falsified memory...
You remember the spider that lived in a bush outside your window? The egg hatched.
The egg hatched,
And
100 baby spiders came out.
Rachel is understandably crushed, which serves as the movie's first attempt to answer the question of our humanity. The movie makes a statement about the importance we place on past experience, and that the emotional resonance we have with them is what defines us as a species. It then goes on to say that where these experiences come from and whether or not they're even ours is inconsequential, only that the invocation of emotion creates the very foundations of who we are. How we react to the past, how we react to the present, it all shapes how we will act in the future, regardless of whether or not we were manufactured or born. This continues onward through our view on life, on the finality of it, and our placation or direct fear of the end. The other Nexus models are desperate to extend their lifespan, Roy Batty being especially pertinent as he is the one closest to shutting down. Upon meeting with his creator, a man that, for all intents and purposes, was simply a means to an end, Roy is confronted with the inescapable truth that we all must face, the finality of our lives and what we do with ourselves when confronted by this.
I've done questionable things.
Also extraordinary things. Revel in your time.
Roy finds himself pleading with his own creator for a new lease, to be given a chance to truly live, to create more for himself past the fears he spent as a product. It's only after the truth is revealed that the time he has is final that he lashes out, going into his death throes as he chases Deckard, showing him the fear of being the hunted rather than the hunter. It's on his final words, though, that the film makes its point abundantly clear.
All those moments will be lost in time. Like tears in rain.
Of the pain Roy feels that his experiences, his own life and emotion, will simply be swept away. Everything he's seen, cried over, laughed over, all of it will die with him. And we're shown how truly precious the present is, rather than obsessing over extension into the future. We cherish what we know, what we've seen, lament over the fact that these experiences are all finite. We live in the moment, in the present, because whether we live 70 years or 4, life is simply too short. Roy obsesses over the future while Rachel was dependent on a false past, but in the end, both are necessary to allow us to try our hardest to make the present as meaningful as possible. Gaff cements this idea in the closing lines of the movie.
It's too bad she won't live. But then again, who does?
It's depressing, but the pursuit to try and create a life worth living is all a part of being human. Our memories shape us, and they push us on to create more of those, to create, develop, and grow, while also looking to discover more within ourselves, and find complete fulfillment from the short amount of time that we can enjoy it. Everything we experience, everything we cherish, all of it gets wiped away as soon as our consciousness fades. So in an attempt to make sure it wasn't all in vain, our lives, the human experience, is all predicated on the idea of making the most of what you have. Live for today, cherish the past, and look forward to the future. That is what it means to be human, for both the artificial and the natural. Do you agree with our assessment? Let us know in the comments down below, and thank you for joining us on Behind the Screens. If you want to stay up to date with our content, please subscribe to our channel, like us on Facebook, and give us a follow on Twitter. If you want to see us grow and develop, consider donating to our Patreon, where your donations help us to create higher quality content for you, the viewer. Thank you everyone, and we'll see you next time on Behind the Screens.